Learner's permit.
Learner's permit.
Learner's permit.
Learner's permit. Hello and welcome to the Learner's Permit podcast, a show where four friends lock themselves in a room and forcefully educate each other on the topics they're most passionate about. Each week, one host selects a subject to educate the other three about in the hopes of broadening their woefully narrow horizons. My name is Adam. Across the table from me is...
Austin. I'm wielding the super shotgun today, but you can't see it.
And to my right is...
Oh, it's me, Liam. I'm kind of in awe. Before, you're not going to hear this on the podcast, but before Adam started, he cleared his throat in such a professional way. And I was wondering if he ever thought about having a career as a town crier.
What is a town crier?
Well, I mean, I don't know how prevalent they are now because there's not much need for them. You know, we got speaker systems and whatnot to amplify voices, but used to be in the good old days, back when this country was truly great, that you would have somebody who would stand on the corner and scream the town news. And obviously you got to be able to clear your throat in a proper way. And I just, what Adam did at the beginning here was very reminiscent. And I'm so sorry to the listeners that they won't be able to hear it.
All right, well, that's Liam's really lengthy introduction out of the way.
And on my left is...
It's me. It's Kody. I have nothing else to say.
It's him. He's the problem.
For sure. Actually, that's not true. Liam was the problem today.
I wasn't the problem.
You were the problem.
I wasn't the problem.
45 minutes late.
The police were the problem.
Okay.
Ooh. Ooh.
Oh, getting a little
We
spicy.
won't get into it. Everyone here's got very strong opinions. I know.
So how we all doing today, guys?
I have a weird energy. I don't know how to feel about this already.
I think we all have
But
a
you
weird...
have a weird energy?
Yeah.
Why do you have a weird energy? Like you said, I was late.
I was very pumped for this intro. And then Adam said some things in his intro the first time he did it, because that intro you just heard was not the one that he did originally.
Wait, he said an extra word.
He said an extra word.
I
there.
didn't even hear the extra word. Like,
Yeah, and then
we're
he said-
harping on this. So
And then he
much.
said something else in it, and I was like,
What was the other thing?
You said in hopes of broadening.
It must not have bothered you that much.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember
Very
the
good
wording
point,
because
Austin.
he says there twice in it.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You mean in the intro that we
The
cut
first one.
and that no one is going to
He
hear?
did it again.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you did.
No, I did not.
Roll it back.
Do we need to pause it right here and run back the tapes and then check? Because we'll
Would
do
love
it.
to. Can we?
Okay. All right, listener. I'm so sorry that we're doing this, but we're going to go back and we're going to double check. And no matter what happens, you'll hear this section, because if we double check and it happened, we'll have Adam re-record it and we'll put it at the very beginning, and then you'll hear the flub one to intro this properly. So if it sounds weird, now you know about 10 minutes in or 5 minutes in why it sounds weird. Okay.
And if I'm wrong, I apologize.
If you're wrong, we're going to get an immediate lengthy apology from Kody, and it will be heartfelt right after this.
Okay.
We'll be right back.
Adam,
Yes, Kody.
I am very sorry. You didn't say there, and you read it as it was. I apologize. As a now YouTuber, this irks me. You know, I didn't think I'd have to come out this soon and say something like this. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I think we all knew you were going to have to make an apology at some point relatively soon.
Now kiss my hand.
No. Kody, I'm sorry. That's not enough. You're apologizing to the wrong party here. Yeah, you kind of maybe miffed Adam a little bit.
Sorry. Audience, I, from the deepest part of my body and of my darkened soul, apologize. I wish I could be a better man, but truthfully, nothing in me is right.
It's all just hot dogs.
It's all just
I thought you were going to blame
Twinkies
your
and-
dad again.
Oh, yeah. It could be my father. No good, like, solid figure to really
You
get
can hear
emotional.
it. Yeah, I can hear it. Are you listening?
sorry.
Are you learning?
I'm
Are you trying to grow?
trying to grow,
Okay.
you know?
Hey, one day at a time, man. All that matters is that you're trying. Not everybody can say the same.
I'm sorry.
Is there something else you wanted to apologize for?
Oh, the fan in the background was a little too high.
Yeah, we're in a room that currently is apparently 75 degrees, but it's supposed to be 87 degrees today, and it's already pretty goddamn hot in here. So we were running a fan, but it was a little too loud.
Whoopsies.
So you shouldn't be able to hear it now. And if you can, well, go fuck yourself.
Anyway, gentlemen, how we doing today?
I'm dejected now. I had to apologize, and I'm sad.
That's okay. It's humbling, you know. Failure is the best teacher.
Yeah, it takes a lot out of you, especially when it was just as sincere as the one you just gave.
The transparency, you know, you really have to like get out there and
Well, people like a comeback. They like a journey of growth. They like to see when you can become better in front of their eyes, especially when it's a result of their complaints and their actions.
Especially when they can't see it because it's on a podcast.
Yeah,
that
so
doesn't
please,
have video.
anyone who is upset by Cody's actions here, please just comment, like, and subscribe, but also comment down below and just say, hey, I'm really upset with the one host. I think he really needs to
Spell
do
my
better.
name right.
Accountability is very human, and I applaud you for that.
That used to be a phrase that in Basic the Drills would say all the time of like, if you're going to complain about me, at least spell my name right on the complaint form.
All right. Well, Kody is ruminating on the intro to this podcast. Austin, how you doing today?
Pretty good. Because of my negligence in planning this morning, I haven't had coffee or anything, and I'm not a morning person, so I'm trying to amp the energy up. But yeah.
Right there with you, buddy. I don't know how much caffeine the beverage I acquired has.
No, that was about 87% milk, and the other 13% was sugar.
Chocolate.
Yeah.
It was just chocolate.
Just chocolate syrup.
So if anything, that's weighing me down.
Adam gets a chocolate milk before we do every episode, which might explain why we have to pause frequently for bathroom breaks. You can probably hear it because there's a little bell that Adam rings on the table, and we try to cut it out, but there's usually a little bit of it in each episode.
Yeah, he rung it when I was doing my apology.
It's
kinda fucked up.
actually a triangle.
You should try to listen for it in each episode. Go
Yeah.
back and listen.
It's the Dookie Triangle.
The Ookie Triangle.
Oh, God.
Liam.
I'm feeling great. I'm feeling so great. As we alluded to earlier, I had a wonderful run-in with
The law.
the country's finest, is what I would say. And, you know, I woke up nice and early this morning, and it was a wonderful time. It was great time. It's the second time that we've had an early record. And Austin, if you're feeling a little tired, you need to wake up.
Yeah, I think it's not like physically, it's more mentally.
What if we did a couple like big dog? Oh,
You want me to bark?
yeah. No, trust me, it'll perk you right up. Just go.
Yeah,
There we go. Look at that, right?
Yeah.
See, right there.
Right out the
Usually you're
gate.
like 20% more perky now.
I feel like a 2000s rapper.
Well, you are at heart, and that's the cool part is it's all about attitude. You know. But yeah, I feel pretty good. What about you, Adam? What's your morning been like?
I feel pretty good too. Morning was a little bit rushed as my alarm did not go off. So we had agreed upon initially to meet at 8:30 for recording. I awoke at 6:34. My original intention was to be up at 6 and out the door at 7. I ended up running a little bit late. I took a really fucking fast shower, threw all my shit together, and sped here.
What's a really fast shower for you?
Like 5 minutes, 5-10 minutes.
Have you ever seen the shower from Blade Runner, the newest one?
I haven't seen the new Blade Runner.
He
No,
presses a button and it goes, and then it stops.
that
And
seems
that's all
like
the
he's
water.
probably not clean.
Yeah, that's all the water they
He
like.
probably
ration
smells
you
like
to use.
balls.
Yeah.
I mean, not if he's a robot, unless they specifically like put.
I wouldn't put it past
Ball
them in that movie
bacteria
to be
on the
like, we developed
robots.
all the original smells. And it's like, why would
Stinky
you-
balls
Yeah,
for the
why-
robot men.
You know, there's a lot of games out there that have been accused of inspiring rage and violent tendencies in the youth. But I think there's one or two titles that come to mind when pondering this.
Animal Crossing.
Donkey Kong.
Superman 64. There's no game that really brings rage out more than being a guy that might as well be an airplane flying through some rings, not
Do you do
utilizing any of his
anything
other
else?
powers. What?
Is there anything else to do in that game? Because that's all I've ever seen.
So Superman 64 is famous for being
A terrible game.
a terrible game. Yeah, it's one of the worst games ever made. All you do, you might as well be a fucking paper airplane. Really, the point is time trials and flying through rings in that game. You don't go around saving people. You don't fight any villains. It's just basically like flying simulator as a man with a cape.
How does it compare to that ET game that literally tanked the video games industry?
Dude, I was just going to say that. Yeah.
But no, for real, a game that I think is very near and dear to many gamers out there. It's a little game called Doom. I believe all of you gentlemen are familiar with it. Cody looks just so pissed off or something.
No, I'm listening.
Okay.
I'm good.
Cody has resting bitch face. You guys probably won't see this for a while till there's any video content.
No,
but
I'm listening. I'm taking it all in. I'm focusing on what's going on.
Okay.
I'm just listening.
he's listening.
I
and
don't
learning.
want to. I'm trying not to like breathe into the microphone. I'm listening. I'm taking a minute. It's fine.
What are your experiences with Doom? When did you first become aware of it? Have you guys ever played it?
My dad used to play Doom on our home computer way back when I was tiny. And you know what? I think he actually played Doom 2. And I distinctly remember the final boss of that game because it's just like a wall with a face in it.
A wall with a face in it.
Yeah.
Austin, what about you? When were you first exposed to Doom and what are your experiences with it?
Honestly, it's one of those things where I didn't get an early experience with it in terms of playing it, but I always just kind of knew it was a thing in popular space and stuff like that. People refer to Doom all the time. I think the earliest thing I can remember is people were either playing Call of Duty or something else and doing what's called like the Doom challenge, which is really stupid, because in Call of Duty you aim down sights and your movement speed is fucking eighth. And so people were doing this stupid thing where it was like, can you go through a whole multiplayer match only aiming down your sights?
I didn't know the Doom challenge was a thing for Call of Duty.
I don't think it was mainstream. I think it was just something our idiot friends did in middle school.
Well, your friends were idiots, I assume. So,
Cody, what about you?
The only thing I played like that was similar to that was actually Star Wars Dark Forces.
Oh, cool.
So I think that was the first like instance of that.
You guys never played Doom on like a calculator?
No?
Oh, I had it on my graphing calculator in high school.
What?
That's pretty rad.
Yeah, super easy. Like you could just hook up the calculator computer and load it on there because it's such a small file.
See, I wasn't
tiny.
that smart.
I remember
I wouldn't
blowing
call
your
it
mind
being
with managing to get YouTube videos onto my iPod Nano. I remember that was like a huge deal for you to witness.
Well, yeah, because what was it? R being the chief, right?
Yeah.
Because you take this fucking like 480p YouTube video and you can't even watch it. But the fact that it's on the iPod and you can bring it to school and watch it without internet was mind blowing to me. So it was just, I didn't even care that you couldn't tell what was going on.
For those who are unaware, Doom is a game that released in 1993. It was created by id Software. It was conceived by John Romero, John Carmack, and Tom Hall. So id Software started gaining attention and turning heads in 1992 by releasing their first first-person shooter, and I believe the first first-person shooter, Wolfenstein 3D. And this is the game that kind of laid down the basic framework for the FPS genre, but ultimately would end up living in the shadow of Doom, if you will. Just out of curiosity, really quick to jump back, Cody, what did you play Dark Forces on?
PlayStation 1.
PlayStation 1?
Because that's what it came out on.
Was it your copy or?
My copy. Yeah.
Nice.
Did I ever beat the game? No.
It was really hard.
It was very hard.
So
I got stuck in like a swamp level. Not a swamp level, but like you're in like the sewer somewhere.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah,
that.
and I was like, I can't fucking see.
Was it your voice as a kid?
Yeah. Do you not remember?
I don't know.
I'm 13. I can swear now. Which is a real Cody quote from his 13th birthday.
Did you never swear up until your 13th
Oh,
birthday?
no, I absolutely did.
No, he just tried to use it as leverage against his mom so that he could swear in the presence of her, is what it was.
Was there a long, protracted conversation with your friends before that where you worked out the terms of it? Where you were like, I think I can probably convince my mom that I can swear when I'm 13, but I need to have her sign this document.
It was all
out of pocket, Cody. Did you get permission?
No,
she said, oh, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Please, can I say fuck once?
And you said,
oh, no, it wasn't I can swear. That's what it was. It was, I'm 13. I can say fuck now.
Oh, we've been wrong this entire time, haven't we?
That's what it was.
Yeah.
I remember that. And then she said, no, absolutely not. And this was as she's putting the cake on the table, too. She's like actively lowering it.
Did she pick up the cake as she said that? Absolutely not.
Back. Absolutely not.
I should have prefaced my introduction to Doom with how I want to go over a few different things. One of those things is the creation and history of Doom, followed by controversies surrounding Doom. And then I want to touch a little bit on Doom's legacy in the gaming world. Doom is kind of credited with more or less giving birth to the first-person shooter genre. id lead programmer John Carmack is responsible for implementing an innovative system in Doom known as raycasting. It uses 2D level data to give the illusion of 3D space. There isn't really 3D objects in Doom. It's just kind of like a bunch of 2D surfaces, like angled, more or less.
What? You mean those flat sprites aren't actually 3D? That's crazy. I mean, they exist in a 3D plane technically, right? I mean,
more or less, yeah. It's basically just 2D images stretched in different angles rather than objects with predetermined geometry rendering.
Well, that's why people can edit the sprites to make it different stuff, like that very wonderful video where somebody edited it and made all of the noises in the game and all the MIDI music based on that noise from Home Improvement, and all the textures are just Tim Allen's face. You never seen that?
That rings a bell.
It's the so everything in the game is that, and all the music is that, but on the MIDI. The MIDI shit.
That sounds incredible.
For anyone who hasn't seen that, please do look it up.
It's like equal parts incredible and terrifying.
Yeah, it is terrifying, but I really like that noise, so it's fun.
Why do you like that noise?
Fun to do. Cody
You
seems
do
very
really
well
good
practiced. Yeah.
impressions.
Thank you. I watched the fuck out of that show as a little kid.
It was a really
It
good
was
show.
a really good show.
Cody does really good impressions.
He does, yeah. He's done a few good impressions on this podcast now.
Oh, what, like Will Smith, Jackie Chan? You want to give any of these a try?
I can't even think of a quote from Jackie Chan right now. Which
Please don't. You especially, I don't want to try to do a Jackie Chan.
I got most of my
impression.
Jackie Chan experience from the animated TV show that he
Oh,
did.
Jackie Chan Adventures. Great
Yeah.
show.
Great show.
Great show.
I never watched that.
You haven't
How?
seen
really good.
many Jackie Chan movies, though? He's awesome. I mean,
No, I know he's great.
I
but
can't speak to his political views. I don't ever want to speak about them on this show.
I don't know anything about
but,
them, but
he's cool.
I can't remember. Okay.
Rush Hour?
Yes, Rush Hour and
Rush
Rush
Hour.
Hour 2 are movies I know him from, and I've seen both of them. I
He's
love
great
those
in that.
movies.
And we won't talk about Chris Tucker, who was on the Epstein flight logs, but that's all I have to say about that.
Really? Ooh.
Yes.
The,
I remember when those came out, I was like, Chris Tucker, that can't be the same guy.
I wish
I mean,
had a
it would
quote
be
from
too
Rush Hour
obvious,
that I could
right?
throw in here.
I remember.
I don't remember any of them, though.
What about, you don't know the very famous one that Chris Tucker says in the trailer?
I can't
He's
think
like,
of it.
you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? And I just imagine that the words were probably Lolita Express.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I want the tickets.
I just remember at one point reading something about how during the making of the first Rush Hour, Jackie Chan was still like in the process of learning English, and they tricked him into saying the N-word. He didn't
What,
really.
they give him like phonetic stuff?
I
I don't know if I believe it. He's a pretty smart guy. I imagine he would know.
Yo, Jackie Chan is dropping the N-word for fun.
Well, he says it in the movie.
It's for
When-
comedic effect.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Does Chris Tucker's character make him say it?
Yeah.
something
I
like
think-
that.
yeah, he's trying to embarrass him.
I believe he didn't realize what he was being made to say.
Yeah, well. Oh, well.
Jumping back, though, Carmack begun work on a more comprehensive engine that was capable of actually calculating 3D space rather than just giving the illusion of it. They decided they wanted to move towards a more original concept and one with a darker tone. So this is where the idea for Doom materialized. Lead designer Tom Hall used their ongoing Dungeons and Dragons campaign as inspiration. And while Hall was hoping for a more narrative-focused experience, John Carmack had a more gameplay-oriented philosophy and was quoted saying, "Story in a game is like story in a porn movie. It's expected to be there, but it's not that important."
Well, I'm glad that Tom Hall's vision is the one that really won out and that he stayed on the project for a long time.
The majority of the team sided with Carmack, leaving Hall to work on a recomposition of his initial design in order to get it to fit the gameplay-oriented vision.
They said, go fuck yourself, nerd. We want blood and guts.
Kind of funny how this stemmed from their Dungeons and Dragons campaign, and probably more than anything, the visual aesthetic is what was removed or pulled from that experience.
What, Dungeons and Dragons? What, you mean like all the demons and shit?
Yeah.
I guess they kind of do look like those old 80s demon monsters from the, all the materials.
Funny you should bring that up. I'll be touching on that as well.
Why don't you touch it?
I will. Don't you worry. I'll touch it.
Touch the butt.
Touch the what?
That's a Finding Nemo quote.
Touch the butt.
I thought you said button.
No,
At
he
first.
said
No,
butt.
touch the butt.
Touch the butt.
We got a couple Disney adults in here?
No.
Oh, really?
No.
What are your favorite franchises, Cody?
Hmm?
What are your favorite
Okay.
screen
full
franchises?
Stop, full stop. No, you cannot fucking come in here and tell me that Star Wars, after it was scooped up from Disney, that
By Disney.
yeah, that's not the same thing.
I'm going to ask you a question right now, and it's going to make you think, and I want you to genuinely think. It may be not true for
That
you
was-
specifically, okay?
I want you to think. I know it's really hard.
No, I don't want you to think. It's going to make you think, and I want you to think about this, okay? How much Star Wars media have you consumed?
In general,
Yes.
it's definitely dropped off the face of the earth since Disney picked it up. So, like all the sequel trilogy. Cody, are you okay?
No, he's not. He hasn't been okay
I'm
this
fine.
whole time.
I'm fine. I'm just listening.
I know you're just you don't normally
You have this
posture like that.
this physical aura about you.
I'm
You're
doing
right.
great.
Your energy is weird today.
I'm
You
here.
have this physical aura of dread about you today. And I'm not
thousands
sure.
of hours of Star Wars.
You've watched thousands of, okay. And of those
Or I've
hours,
consumed thousands of
of those hours,
the media.
how many things that you watched were things produced by Disney?
For me, when the sequel trilogies were coming out, I had that immediate thought of like, this is stupid. Why are they doing this? But then I was like, oh, I really enjoyed the prequel movies as a kid. So maybe I'm just being that asshole that's like, oh, new stuff. I hate it. Went to go see them. I fucking hated those movies. Then they started bringing out shows and I was like, okay, why are we doing this? The Mandalorian was pretty good for a little while, and then it just became a cash cow, and it was like there was no thought put into it, and it got really boring and stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Rogue One is super fucking good.
Arguably the best one.
Yeah, I love Rogue One. That being said, everything else I can't stand it. Remember we were talking about Obi-Wan when it was coming out, and I was just like so disappointed with everything that was going on.
It was supposed to be a trilogy series.
As like a movie.
It was supposed to be a trilogy movie series.
Yeah, and just everything about it.
The scripts are online. You can read them. It is way better as a trilogy than it is a TV series.
So I didn't ask if you enjoyed it. I asked if you watched it.
So I've watched most things once to give them a try.
My point still stands then, if that's where you're sitting at, is that the majority of Star Wars that you have consumed has been produced by Disney. Whether that's the stuff you like or not, that's not necessarily the case, but the majority of the stuff that's been put out at this point has been produced by Disney.
Yeah, but the amount of rewatches and time that I've spent with Star Wars has been all the original stuff before it was picked up by Disney.
Yeah, that's fine. Most other major Disney characters were pre-existing characters that existed outside of that context. But can you really argue that you're not a Disney adult?
What does that mean?
I mean, you're an adult that likes Disney.
I mean, there's certain intellectual properties in Disney that you can like.
Well, that's all it is. You don't have to like every Disney thing.
No.
I'm sure there are some people that hate Lilo and Stitch or Cars.
You're a
that would
fucking
be
monster.
Yeah, I was gonna say that would be weird to hate Lilo and Stitch. And plus, if it, most of these things are made with the idea that adults are watching these things with their kids and they won't be driven insane. So a lot of those classics and watching stuff, you can still be like, oh man, I really love Aladdin because I have a lot of good memories from it as a kid. Like, I don't
that's
think there's
another
anything wrong with
pre-existing
that.
IP from before Disney had it. You know, there's a lot of Aladdin books that aren't Disney.
I don't know.
I'm just saying
that's when it was brought to my attention.
Aladdin, and then there's an Aladdin movie, and if you've watched the movie and you like the movie, you're probably could be a Disney adult. Hypothetically,
But you're saying it is like it's a bad thing. I don't see.
I'm not putting any connotation on it. I'm just saying, you know, you guys immediately shirked the label, and I was just kind of surprised. So I was like, well, you know, a lot of the media you consume is produced by
because I have such
the Walt Disney
I have
Corporation.
such a strong feeling about Disney assimilating Star Wars. I never wanted it to happen, and it's absolutely ruined it.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm great.
Do you have something on your mind, Cody? You really seem like you have something on your mind.
I'm here. Guys, I'm here.
What's going on, Cody?
Nothing.
What is it?
I'm having a great time.
Do you have to poop?
Do you need
No.
breakfast?
Yeah,
No,
do you
I
need
had
food or coffee? Do you have coffee this morning?
I had a rush.
So you had an energy drink.
Yeah.
Maybe that's part of it.
No.
Okay, Cody's gone Geordie LaForge mode here, I guess.
Who?
LeVar Burton from The Next Generation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I wish I were LeVar Burton.
Warp speed,
Wow.
don't rainbow read me. Jackie Chan word.
Jackie Chan word. That's so fucking good.
No, I'm here. Guys, I'm here. Don't worry about it. Adam, we're talking about Doom. We're talking about how Doom is one of the most gory video games of all time and how it is involved in such a satanic panic.
So you had brought up that a lot of those monsters and such in Doom kind of have like that 80s, 90s sort of look to them.
Yeah, specifically I was talking about the like big circular one with the horns and the middle eye. I feel like that's kind of like if you took a beholder and just like snapped off all the eye stalks.
Totally. Yeah, that I would say that's very Dungeons and Dragons inspired.
Mm.
And the cool thing about those monsters from Doom, so the team actually had hired a Hollywood monster professional, and they made clay molds of all of the various enemies in the game. So they were actually 3D objects, but then were scanned and then rendered into the game as two-dimensional sprites.
Wait, that fucking rocks. Can you imagine if they still had those claymation figures and then remade Doom, not as like some super remastered thing, but as like actual 3D scans of the claymation models?
Oh, that'd be fucking cool.
Yeah.
That would be so cool.
Do we know that they didn't do that with the
like,
with the 2016 one? That seems like something they would do.
They could like mocap
No, the 2016
it with
one
that,
is like very
right?
They
high.
could.
It's, you know, good graphics. It's not claymation.
Oh,
that's what I'm
you were
talking about. Like
saying,
actually just making a claymation
Okay.
version of the original Doom.
I thought you meant just scan the 3D models in and use that as a base. I figured that
No, I mean actually have a claymation version of the. I think that's sick.
that'd be pretty.
There was some game that had like really. You guys ever play the game Nidhogg?
Yes,
It's like a really simple game where you sword fight and it's multiplayer. So you sword fight with another person and basically like you can move your sword up and down and you try to duel, you fence the other person. And then when you die, you just like respawn and come back into the screen. You try to fight them. But the goal is to get to the opposite
sides.
end of where you start. and the other person's stopping you because they kill you and then they move forward and yada, yada, yada. There was a sequel to that game that was made using claymation. I don't know if it was actual claymation or if it was just animated to look like claymation, but it looked really disgusting, but also cool. And I think it would be awesome to see that with Doom if they still have those clay models.
The more complex sculptures, if it couldn't be done with clay, they used latex and metal parts as well. So they kind of had like a full-on production going for.
Well, that's so fucking cool, though.
Yeah.
Like that they had these 3D models and then they just scanned them in.
Mm-hmm. I remember thinking that regardless of the two-dimensional like pixel art sprite nature of Doom, the models and everything look really good.
Yeah, they do. They do. But maybe it's just me, but I like claymation and I think it's cool. And yes, we have some cheese to eat. Kody keeps reminding us we have cheese to eat.
Got cheese to eat.
It's 9 a.m. and Kody wants to eat cheese.
Dude, it's always time for cheese.
Okay.
Gradually, the team pieced together the foundation for the game, implementing new rendering techniques, gaining confidence around more thorough level design, and adding more weapons and AI for the enemies and so on. And then in August of 93, Tom Hall leaves the team after the rift between his vision of Doom and the team's vision grew too wide. As you were kind of alluding to, Liam, Tom Hall was not in the picture for too much longer. And in the wake of his departure, Sandy Peterson and Dave Taylor joined the team, and they kind of pick up the pieces and put together what Tom Hall had been previously working on. And the final months of Doom's development revolved around polishing the game. And with just a few weeks before the holiday season of 93, id Software releases their first episode of Doom.
Episode?
Episode, yes.
Like a TV show?
Sort of. So it would eventually get like expansions in the form of more episodes.
So it focuses on the first episode focuses on the Doomslayer's emotional relationship with his ex-wife.
With his estranged father.
Mm.
What's that like?
Do you have something to say? Is there some experience you can speak to? You relate to the Doomslayer in that regard?
No.
Doom would live on as a monumental success, but it wasn't without its bumps in the road. During the 90s, a campaign against the computer gaming industry was brought forth by the Democratic Senator of Connecticut, Joseph Lieberman, or Lieberman. Not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly.
Austin, do you know the name? Lieberman? Austin's our name guy.
He is our name guy.
I don't think I've seen that one before.
I think we're going to have to start taking that title away from you at some point.
I've known every other one except this.
So Joseph Lieberman, I'm just going to roll with it. He was the Democratic Senator of Connecticut, and in conjunction with Wisconsin Democrat Herb Kohl, they had this campaign against the computer gaming industry, which was fueled by concerns surrounding violent games like Wolfenstein, Doom, and Mortal Kombat.
What's wrong with those games?
They have very realistic depictions, or for the time considered to be realistic depictions of grotesque, gory violence.
So you mean in Mortal Kombat where you fight somebody and then turn them into a baby? That's realistic?
Babe-tality.
That's babe-ality.
Babe-ality. Well, a lot of people around that time found these things to be too graphic and thought that it would poison the minds of the youth and just inspire individuals to become violent in real life.
What do you mean? That was one of
Just
the
like
first games.
Pokemon.
It's the first game I ever played.
Mortal Kombat was?
Yeah.
That was your first game?
Yeah.
That
It's a pretty
explains
good
lot.
first game.
Yeah. Thanks, bros. My literal brothers, not you guys.
My first game might have been Mario 64.
So for you, Kody, was it between Mortal Kombat and then your brother showed you hardcore pornography magazines?
No, it was.
Kody, we're going to make you a man.
We're your dad now.
Together.
You grew up today. Lieberman, he actually recently passed away. He was kind of a hated figure within the gaming industry ever since he kind of took his campaign against the industry. He once said that he wished he could ban them constitutionally, as he insisted that these types of games made people more violent.
Yeah, but what about all the fucking movies out there that are just as violent?
Right, exactly. Like at that point, you already had things like fucking Terminator.
But
And
with the movie, you're not doing it. You're watching it be done.
Yeah, but it's
The movie
it's
I
still
would-
happening.
right, and
But you don't pull the trigger.
But
yeah, I
but
guess
you-
you're not given agency.
Yeah,
right,
exactly.
but
you don't have the
hit play
choice.
on the movie.
Yeah, but the events in the movie have already
It gives you
transpired,
ideas.
whereas in the game, you make the events happen.
Details.
See, well, what do you guys think? I actually want to talk about this because this
Sure.
is a pretty big thing. Violence in video games. What do you think?
Like, do I believe it makes people violent, or
I mean, does it make people violent? Does it have an effect on, I mean, like Austin punching his microphone all the time? Does it have an effect on people's perception of violence? Does it desensitize them to violence, even if it doesn't drive them to be violent?
I think it certainly does have a desensitizing aspect to it. That really doesn't want to stay up, does it?
This is comedy fucking gold. I've been watching Austin fuck with this pop filter in front of his microphone for the last minute and a half, and it just doesn't want to stay up. Oh,
maybe. Is it?
Kiss it.
Nice.
Hey,
there we go.
yeah.
Yeah.
Old faithful.
It just needed some love.
I would say that to a certain extent, it definitely desensitizes people. If you're not somebody who previously was exposed to media with violent depictions, especially interactive ones, I think it could be jarring or disturbing. But if you're somebody who's inclined to embrace some form of escapism and immerse yourself into some piece of fiction, whether, that's games, movies, comics, and it has imagery like that, then naturally, if you're consuming more of it, then you're just going to gain a little indifference. But I don't necessarily think that coincides with making a person violent.
I think most healthy people have coping mechanisms to differentiate that sort of stuff. Like with somebody that doesn't have the ability to, like people that hyperfixate on the violent stuff in games or movies are going to do that anyway. And I think most people that play these games or watch these movies, like the Saw movies or whatever, where like kind of or Dead Space, where the entire ad campaign was Isaac dying. Like that was their whole thing, was like, look at all these cool ways you can die.
Right.
And like most people, like that just appeals to the horror genre as an aspect. And most healthy people are going to be like, oh, if I were to see this in real life, this is 100% totally fucking different than being on your couch in the living room playing a fucking Dead Space game. So I think the people that are going to take the negative aspects of video games or movies away from it and be inspired to do harm with it, we're going to do it one way or the other. I think it just amplifies it. So I don't think normal people that are able to.
Right.
Well, even if it just amplifies it, wouldn't you say that is an effect in and of itself?
I'd say it's an effect, yeah, but it comes down to the individual and how they're going to allow it to affect them.
Good old American personal responsibility right here.
Yeah.
Cody, what do you think?
Yeah, Cody, tell me your opinion.
I think when it comes down to it, it's like coming home from work and playing video games can be like a stress reliever, right? So like, well, that just makes it sound really bad. Hold on a second. Never mind.
No, go ahead. Just say what
need
you're
to
saying.
unwind and shoot
some
people.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, but like I don't come home and I play those games most of the time. But I mean,
personally, if I ever have a game put in front of me where it involves violence against another individual, I simply put the controller down and stop playing the game. I can't stomach it. So, I think we're at different ends of the spectrum on the opinion here. I get the stress relief part of playing the games, but I do think there is maybe a counterpoint to be made to play devil's advocate here.
Oh no, you of all people.
Given that this game in particular was actually a very big thing in several high profile incidents involving mass shootings and violence.
Like the Columbine High School.
Yes. I mean,
massacre.
But even in the development of the game itself, they used layouts of real military bases for some of the levels. And so when the Columbine guys mapped out their high school in the game, there's already that sort of association of like, oh shit, I can just like make a simulation of this. You could say that having that resource available to them made it more real.
Absolutely. I mean, it added a interactive quality to their plan that otherwise might have not been there, had Doom not been a thing. The whole interactive component behind the high school being mapped out in Doom, I think definitely brings a more disturbing connotation to the franchise. It's a little more grounded in reality. And one of the perpetrators of that massacre was actually heard by classmates that he was boasting about having made a recreation of the high school in the game. And he, in a video recording taken before the incident, showed enthusiasm and excitement over the planned atrocity.
Yeah, I mean, you would think with all the warnings they had, maybe they could have done
That's
a little
all
more.
of them.
Yeah,
dude.
right.
I know. Well, we won't get into it on this episode because we don't have enough time for me to talk about it, but there's a very, very well documented history of.
He even goes as far as to point out that the shotgun was straight out of Doom.
There's a very well documented history of law enforcement agents working undercover to encourage people like this and then waiting for them to do the thing and then swooping in and being like,
right.
We got him.
Yeah.
Or he shot himself while no one was around.
Or there's I'm not going to give names because I don't want to give fucking attention to this fucking miserable human being. But there's a guy that had a whole YouTube channel that was fucking on YouTube based around, hey, this is what I'm going to do. These are my fucking plans.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody at any point reported that or whatever. Like, I just don't believe it.
You're talking about the Riddler? Because he only gets like 500 views on his video.
What?
The Riddler from Robert Pattinson's Batman.
Is he a YouTuber? Oh, yeah, we did talk about that.
Robert Pattinson's Backman.
Backman.
But yeah, no, there's like, yeah,
Robert
I'm in
Pattinson.
agreement with you on that. There's like
Yeah.
so many times where people could have stepped in to do shit, or someone could have said, there's like in a personal account where somebody says something so damning that you're like, why would you not say something?
I mean, the
about
pattern is almost, it is damning, you know, of the inaction, like willful inaction, not just, oh, we didn't know what to do or, oh,
Right.
it wasn't clear, but like it's abundantly clear. People have reported this multiple times. There are people taking videos of these fuckers saying, hey, I'm going to do this.
Right.
And nothing gets
And
done.
nothing happens.
But you're able to swoop in at the end and say, hey, we stepped in and
Yep.
took them down.
And
Here we
sometimes
come
they
to
don't
save
even
the
do that.
day.
Yeah, sometimes they don't even do that.
But yeah, these like instances of real life violence, the connotations coupled with things like satanic imagery, leaving an impact on conservative Christian Americans, kind of contributed to the general apprehension.
Do you think that's something that's going to come back? We've seen like a big swing culturally of a lot of conservative and Christian views and values sort of having an upsurge recently. And I'm really curious if we're going to get another wave of satanic panic. Because it's
Like
been,
Pokemon.
I've been seeing a couple articles talking about stuff like that recently.
because I mean, at this point, the imagery, like satanic imagery and like, you know, Wiccan stuff and pagan stuff has been like incorporated so heavily in a lot of different subcultures, you know, and like different aesthetics in the United States. You know, nobody bats an eye at a fucking pentagram, really.
Right.
You know, you got a tattoo of a pentagram, whatever. You get a fucking pentagram on your shirt, whatever. Who gives a fuck? I don't think you're a Satanist, and if you are, well, that's your business. But like, if we were to get another round of that, you know, cultural whitewash, basically, like, I don't know what would happen. I don't know how things would change. I definitely don't want that, to be very clear.
Right. Yeah,
If I
yeah.
wasn't clear in my vocal tone, I was grinning, and so maybe it sounded like I was smiling because I was, but
Smiling
just-
with anticipation.
yes, laughing at the
Foaming at the
horrible
mouth.
prospect of, yeah.
They're called pocket monsters. That newsreel lives rent free in my fucking head, dude. It does. Pokemon. They're called pocket monsters. Sorry, go ahead.
So yeah, those things kind of contributed to the apprehension surrounding Doom, particularly during this time period. And even a retired U.S. Army lieutenant colonel / critic / Killology research group founder David Grossman, he labeled Doom a quote unquote mass murder simulator.
What was it? Killology?
Killology Research Group, which I believe has since been renamed, but it was established to give seminars about the psychological and physiological effects on law enforcement officers as well as soldiers having to use lethal force.
Wow, what a fucking edgelord name for
I was
a
gonna
fucking
ask about that
foundation.
too. I actually,
What a bunch of fucking losers.
do you have any articles related to that? Because I would love to read about.
Yeah, I got all the sources here that I can pass along afterwards.
What the fuck was
Also,
David
if you-
Grossman? That name sounds
No,
really
yeah, because
familiar.
that guy's a major fucking scumbag is why his name is familiar. He's
Okay.
a guy
Oh, I
who
thought it was
gives
the guy in
seminars
Tropic
about
Thunder.
no, that's Les Grossman. You're talking about the Tom Cruise in a fat suit? Yeah, that's Les Grossman.
Dancing.
But yeah, he's a real fucking. If I'm thinking of the right guy, and Adam, I don't know if you have the Wikipedia pulled up or whatever.
can pull it up.
Yeah, will you look up David Grossman? I'm fairly sure that he is a fucking thick-necked fucking shithead former cop that gives seminars on basically how to get away with murdering people and using lethal force and encouraging cops. Like police departments go around and he'll go around and the police departments will pay him to give seminars about how to shoot people in a way where you're justified, quote unquote.
Like
Right.
to make in a way to manipulate the situation.
He
to make
basically
interesting?
encourages the mindset of like you are on the hunt and like yes.
I don't see
He
anything,
he's teaching cops to be fucking Cobra from the Stallone movie.
I don't see anything about him previously being in law enforcement, but he was in the Army. He was a retired lieutenant colonel.
What is he? Okay, so I was wrong about him being a former cop, but what is his deal? What does he do? Because if I'm wrong,
So
just
he
cut everything I just
still-
said.
He still does the Killology stuff. It's just under a different name now, which is Grossman on Truth.
Okay, and what is that? What do they do?
It's exactly the same thing as what Killology was originally established
If
for.
you have a seminar that is supposedly about the psychological effects of officers having to use lethal force, and you name that shit Killology, what do you think the fucking
It
bias
is a
is going to
stupid
be there?
name.
It is really stupid.
What do you think the angle is? You know?
Yeehaw. That's the angle.
Oh, yes. No, I'm totally fucking right. He does Killology, and he had, it's called the Warrior Cop training.
Oh, I
You
missed
guys
that
can,
bit.
you guys can read articles about this, and it's just fucking gross.
Man,
Sorry, I didn't mean to get off on this tangent.
No, this is good stuff.
I've read about this guy before, and he's a total piece of shit. And
Yeah.
the ideology that he's spreading is awful. And I mean, a lot of people have issues with police officers. You might say he is heavily contributing to radicalization of our nation's police force.
Yeah,
So-
I would
And he
say
gets
so.
paid by the U.S. government, by state governments to teach cops to be
Yeah, he's kind of like a
more lethal.
a federally funded entity.
So I will go on record and say this man is a piece of shit.
Yeah. So I just got a couple closing things on, these various controversies. Each of these things has a myriad of different subjects that can be discussed at length, but
One second, can I ask, because we got so far down that tangent after
Yeah.
I had to verify who he was.
Mhm.
What was his quote again?
he had labeled Doom a mass murder simulator.
What a fucking loser.
Yeah.
Oh my God. You go around, you fucking teach cops to shoot people easily, and you say that a video game is a mass murder simulator because you're
Mhm.
shooting demons that are what, like 24 pixels?
Well, and we talked about it a little bit, but that was my big problem with the controversy with Doom in general, because like we were saying, like you are literally, now correct me if I'm wrong, but from what I remember, you are literally an agent of God sent into hell to kill demons. Like why would
Oh,
you?
you're a space marine, I think. Quote unquote.
What? Yes,
Right.
you are a Doom Marine, but I think maybe I might be speaking from a revisionist perspective in terms of this is like the 2016 and 2022 lore or whatever.
Either way, still
but
applies.
still, yeah, like you like that sounds like the most like Christian thing ever, and people are getting upset about it. Like, no, fuck it, this game sucks. It's like, dude, what? Like, isn't this the
This
whole
is like
point?
the dream.
This is like your whole deal, like,
Right.
yeah.
Like,
You've been given agency by God to go and
To
here's the thing,
exterminate the forces
when you
of
say
evil.
when you say it like that, you're a Christian warrior, like given agency to exterminate the forces of evil. You would think that guys like fucking Grossman would be really all about this shit, being like, yeah, it's an allegory for us cleaning up the streets, like
I feel like what
Jesus.
maybe kind of sparked it was there are soldiers in Doom that are like more or less possessed by demons. So I guess, that in a sense you are kind of shooting people at a couple points.
But
Yeah, but is that not what demons do?
Right. And yeah, I agree with you, but it's just like maybe that was kind of the catalyst for.
nobody brings that complaint up for zombie games.
Yeah, that's fair.
Same
Yeah.
thing,
Right.
Yeah, we're going off of that. I don't even know how
I'm not
many
sure.
fucking like Nazi zombies rounds I've been through.
Well, during that time period,
Well, those
I
are
don't-
Nazis.
I'm not really sure how many zombie games there were. I can't think of any. Were there zombies in Wolfenstein 3D? I don't know. I can't remember.
I kind of remember guys in like battered uniforms, but it could just be manufacturing memories where there are none.
But yeah, all of this debate around Doom's violence and satanic imagery is what eventually gave way to industry juggernauts Nintendo and Sega collaborating to propose an age rating system. And that gave way to the Entertainment Software Rating Board, or as you might know them, the ESRB in the USA. That happened in 1994. And later in 2003, Europe created their own.
Peggy 18.
Yep, Peggy, the Pan-European
good
Game
impression.
Information. So Doom and
I knew it was coming. I was like, oh, just chomping at the bit.
Doom, Wolfenstein, Mortal Kombat, those were all games kind of responsible for us even having game rating systems at all. That approach would alleviate some of the concerns and negative connotations with the gaming industry and, the concern around children's level of access to violent games. Even to this day, there's still debate over whether violent video games are tainting the minds of the young and causing them to act out. But these systems that Nintendo and Sega and other companies brought forth kind of watered it down a little bit. I kind of want to move into Doom's legacy in the gaming world. So yeah, there are many components to the legacy of Doom, including but not limited to the controversies, sizable and passionate modding community, the influencing of game design, being the trailblazer of the FPS genre and its mechanics, technological advancements, sound design and music, popularization of a distribution model, speedrunning, and more. Doom is credited with introducing fast-paced and seamless movement alongside strategic combat, setting the standard for shooters going forward with its groundbreaking level design and 3D environments with varied modes of demon bloodshed. And the source code for Doom was released into the wild in 97, which gave way to the creation of seemingly infinite custom levels and new modes of play, new games altogether even.
Do you know if that Star Wars game used the source code of Doom?
It did. So it didn't take long for Doom clones, as they came to be known, to spawn. Games like Marathon, Star Wars Dark Forces, Duke Nukem, and more were based off of Doom's visual architecture and would cement themselves among the first-person shooter games.
So you said speedrunning too.
Yes.
This game made speedrunning?
It kind of, yeah, more or less. That's what made speedrunning a thing.
What's the fastest speedrun on the game? Do you know?
On speedrun.com, the top player is Thomas TD. I'm not sure if I'm saying the username right, but they are clocked in at 4 minutes, 38 seconds, 667 milliseconds. That's pretty fast.
And that's for the original Doom?
Yeah.
4 minutes to beat the whole fucking game.
4 minutes, 38 seconds.
So it's because of this
Is that
game.
with or without exploits?
Unclear.
Probably
It's
with. It's definitely with.
exploits.
I think pretty much all speedruns are. So it's,
I see the input was keyboard and mouse.
but like the people, it's so funny that speedrunning became a thing because now you have people doing, like I watched a video the other day coincidentally of somebody doing a speedrun of Ocarina of Time, but specifically they were beating Ocarina of Time in the game demo version of it that's available within Super Smash Bros. Brawl, which you get 2.5 minutes, I believe, to beat.
play the
And
game.
they beat
play
the
the game.
whole game?
Yeah.
That's insane.
That's awesome.
It was pretty cool. I was like, how the fuck do you...
Do you think they practiced in the base game first just to get like the exploits down and everything? And then
They probably just, I would imagine they just lifted the stuff from the base game and then, and I don't think they had there's not like the record time, the one that I watched. It was just somebody just doing it.
right. Yeah. The one,
fun.
the thing is
Because he
just
fucked
to
up
beat
at
it.
one point and he was like, I lost it, but I can still get personal best.
Yeah.
I was like, why are you doing this?
Yeah. And it's funny to watch the speedrunners do this stuff because they do that all the time. We're like, not a perfect run, not a perfect run. And
Yeah.
they're like, but they're still like flying around, like in Fallout New Vegas.
Still
there's
so
a-
fucking
Dude, the
focused.
Fallout New Vegas one's really cool because they use the revolver and
The reloading
the
glitch?
reloading thing because then it just shoots you across the map.
Yeah.
What's funny because in the Ocarina of Time one, he was just like, he would throw a bomb and then he would do this like repeatedly like shield with Link's shield. And then the bomb would blow up and it would just shoot him backwards. And he would just turn the camera to like angle the way that he was go because he would just slide.
Yeah.
And he kept doing that into different things and like just boosting up into different areas that you're not supposed to be able to get into.
I watched someone do a speed run of Cairo Station from Halo 2 the other day in like
Oh, yeah,
a
that was
minute.
nuts.
I sent it to you.
Yeah.
It was like a minute 36 seconds.
Wait, how did he do it?
You can game glitch through doors if you just like
So you
back
just
into it.
skip
If you
fights?
just back into it like repeatedly, you just phase through the door.
Yeah.
And then he had the sniper rifle and the energy sword. So if you have the sniper rifle and you quick switch to the energy sword, you can like super boost swing.
Oh,
Yeah, it basically extends the range of the energy sword lunge.
to the
Yeah.
sniper rifle
Right.
range.
Yeah.
So you just fucking skip half the map because like you're in space at one point and you just go, okay, cool.
You just zip away.
Yeah, it's fucking. I was like, holy shit.
That's
Um,
awesome. Can you do that on the original Xbox? I want to try that.
Yeah, you
Yeah, you can.
Mhm.
Rock
I'm
on.
going to go home and do that.
Yeah, you should do that.
But yeah, beyond Doom's graphics, another innovative technological advancement included networked multiplayer, allowing players to connect through LAN and play cooperatively or against one another. It popularized the shareware distribution model, which basically it goes, a slice of the game is distributed for free. Then players have the option to purchase the full game if they enjoy it. Doom's soundtrack, created by Robert Prince, combined heavy metal and ambient soundscapes to weave an immersive and intense gaming experience, yet again being another demonstration of what was possible in gaming.
And you talked about the soundtrack a little bit there, which was a huge focus in the reboot because I haven't played the reboot, but I've listened to the soundtrack
It is fucking
so much.
good.
It is so
It's
good.
really good.
Like, I don't know if you like metal or rock, like heavy metal or anything like that, but have you listened to it at all, Liam?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
played the game. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Do you like it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
good game.
I
I mean,
fucking-
I'm not super into like boomer shooters, of just like the fast paced, just shooting and
Right.
going, but
Running
it's
gun.
fun.
Arcadey.
Yeah, it's very arcadey.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've never played 2016 or Doom Eternal, but I fucking listen to the music all the time.
It's really good.
He used fucking chainsaws as an instrument.
But yeah, it's because the chainsaw's in the game. You like to refill your ammo, you have to like melee kill enemies, and you'll do it with the chainsaw, and then blood and guts will shoot out, and so will a bunch of ammo.
Right, but I mean, like in the songs, even removed from the chainsaw in it, like is it there? He used it as an instrument.
Rock on.
There are a lot of other components around Doom's legacy that could be discussed at length, but the last one I'll say, which will segue us into our final segment, is Doom's architectural flexibility has enabled it to seemingly be ported to nearly every platform. This has inspired people around the world to see what kind of unconventional devices they can get this game to run on. And that brings us to a little bit I'm calling Unexpected Doom.
I like this.
Basically, I'm going to give a vague description of a device, and it's a device that runs Doom, and then you have to guess what the device is.
Tamagotchi.
A handheld diagnostic device typically used in the bathroom.
A thermometer.
Maybe there's a more in-depth pregnancy test that I'm
I
not
was just going to
that
say
I'm not
pregnancy
privy
test.
to. Yeah, if there's a pregnancy test that has an actual screen
Oh shit,
on
it
it,
probably
I'm gonna say
is pregnancy test, but
Is that both of your answers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so 1 point for Austin and Kody.
yeah, damn. Once you said it, I was like, fuck. That would be the unconventional
Like,
one.
can you imagine having a pregnancy scare and you're like, fuck it. And you just pull out fucking Doom and you're like, I'm going to decompress for a minute.
Well, you piss on it and then you play it.
1 for Austin and 1 for Kody.
Cody, do you want to keep track of this stuff?
My phone's on the floor.
Owned.
I was being a good boy and not on my phone at all.
It
Oh
is.
my
It's just
God,
haphazardly thrown on
Cody,
on a
thank
blanket.
you so much. That's so nice of you. Stay off your phone.
Number 2, a device capable of instantaneously deciphering information with a flash.
A Pokedex.
I don't think that's a real thing.
You absolutely could play Doom on a Pokedex.
You
though.
absolutely could.
I mean, if it were a real thing, yeah,
Right.
definitely.
I don't know. Fucking something with a flash. A fucking
With a flash.
a
Camera?
A camera. Yeah.
Is
Oh,
that both of you?
That's
Yeah.
me. Yeah.
Okay.
One of those radar detectors that cops use.
LiDAR, I think.
LiDAR, yeah.
The answer is a barcode scanner.
Oh,
How do you play it on the barcode scanner?
Because
Are they just using it to move like that guy played?
No, they
Lot
have
of
the
Minecraft.
handheld
They have the
ones that have
handheld
the screen
ones.
on it.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, well, yeah, I used them for fucking years.
I just have the stupid cash register one. That
Yeah, no, they have like the screen and like the numbers.
it's
and
probably a lot more useful for inventory. Yeah, because you
Mhm.
can actually get like the UPC and will tell you what it is and everything. And
Yep.
it's like carrying a computer around with you. I never have
Uh-huh.
to do that. So
Fucking those things suck.
Number 3, a contraption capable of taking you miles while never moving an inch.
Treadmill.
Definitely.
Yeah.
A Peloton kind of thing, maybe. An exercise bike.
yeah, I'm gonna go with treadmill.
Exercise bike.
All right. That's a point for Austin and Liam.
Owned.
I don't know if mine counts though, because like I just piggybacked off of.
That's why I said treadmill.
No, it counts.
why I
That's
said
why.
bike.
That's why I waited. Strategy.
Number 4, an addictive pocket-sized machine with the power to
Tamagotchi.
deliver a personalized sensory experience.
Personalized sensory experience.
iPod Nano specifically.
Can you be more specific about the sensory experience?
I cannot.
One more time.
An addictive pocket-sized machine with the power to deliver a personalized sensory experience.
Vape. It's a vape.
A vibrator.
A vibrator.
I'm gonna say vape.
I'm going iPod Nano.
Liam got it.
That's right,
Oh.
motherfuckers. Doom on the vape.
The fucking screen's so small. How would you do that?
Get a vape with a bigger
So it's a
screen.
Tamagotchi.
Poor.
I build it, dude. When I heard about people building vapes, I was like, it's gone too far. It's gone too
They
far.
got vape competitions.
Do they really?
Yeah, people who how big
I'm
people
the
can
vape
blow
god.
clouds.
So we had
we
a-
should go to a vape competition.
we
We
had
should
a-
have an episode where we go to a vape competition. I would love to interview those people. I could go be a field reporter for the podcast. Call in on the.
You go undercover, so you show up with like a vape that you never once hit. But
Yeah,
you
well,
just
I would just kind of, or it'd be like some other type of fog.
yeah. To
Have a fog machine in my backpack, so I'm like,
Number 5, a device that traps light and shadow to tell silent stories.
light and shadow to tell silent stories. Light and
Can you
shadow to tell silent
say that a little louder for me, Liam?
A light to tell
I thought you were having a Howard Hughes moment of like the way of the future, the way of the future, staring into the fucking staring into the mirror with your piss bottles everywhere in your room.
light and sound.
Something that can
Um,
capture light.
A camera.
I'm gonna go crazy and just say 8mm home movie camera.
Do we have to be that specific, or if I say camera, can I get it too if it's that?
You don't have to get ultra specific.
Okay, camera.
I am just for the fun of it.
Movie projector.
Movie projector, and you both are camera.
Yeah.
Yep.
That is a point for Austin and Liam.
I think mine was factually incorrect, though. Like, I don't think you could do it on an 8mm. There's no way, because it's just an objective lens.
Light
Like
and sound, silent stories. Light and sound, silent stories.
Number 6. Just gonna skate through that. A device utilized for finding solutions to problems.
Calculator.
I'm
Gonna
just
give
gonna go
everybody a
ahead and
point for
buckle,
that one.
Yep, that's a freebie for you all. And that brings us to our final one. A laboratory instrument commonly used to display and analyze the waveform of electronic signals.
I don't know the name for this, but I think I know what the device is.
It reminds me of the sonic emitter from Old War Blues that one robot sonjaculates into to give you gives you new fucking
I'm just gonna make up a word. How about it's a waveometer?
A waveometer?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
sonic emitter. I don't know.
There you go.
This one was a little out of left field, I will
I have
say.
no idea.
It is an oscilloscope.
Who the fuck knows that word, Adam? Who knows that word? Who's
That
one's
was the
gonna get that one?
curveball. That was the curveball I was going to do.
All right, who won? And if it wasn't me,
It was
don't
thrown
say.
in a different stadium. I don't even know. I wouldn't even be able to swing at that ball.
We've got
Yes.
Kody at 3, Liam at 3, Austin at 4.
Ooh.
Oh,
Nice.
that's surprising. I didn't expect that.
You know what? I'm gonna go back and say you shouldn't have been able to pick.
I want to win.
That's a good game. I like that. I must use my oscilloscope to determine whether the waveforms are appropriate for the podcast.
Dude, sorry, that just reminded me of a random tangent. There's a fucking photograph I saw of a dude in Vietnam who is using a stethoscope to fucking hear people in tunnels underneath the ground.
that's
that
cool.
makes so
I was like,
sense.
I never would have thought to do that. That's really fucking smart. Like, it's such a cool looking photo. I'll see if I can find
Yeah,
it.
but if you any guys around you who are just stomping their stupid little feet, and be like, hey, shut the fuck up! I'm listening
What?
for rats.
So that's what's nice is as a platoon leader, you can just be like, everybody shut the fuck up. We're gonna be looking for stuff. And you see this guy and it's like,
See, this is the one time I've wished that we had a camera so that we could get you doing that face.
So yeah, that was kind of my brief glimpse for you guys into a little bit about Doom. I hope that each of you had something to take away, or you maybe were illuminated or enlightened in some fashion.
I'm gonna enlighten you guys for a little bit. I told you I'd tell you what my issue was.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did.
I slept wrong and my neck really fucking hurts.
Why didn't you just say that
Okay.
at the beginning so we had context? So
I
you
told
weren't
Austin
like the
earlier.
little whiny baby the whole time with your head in your hands.
I wasn't whining.
Cody,
I never said a fucking thing.
This will be so for the listeners. This will be muted once you hear the episode. But the whole time, Cody has been going, then dipping his head away from the mic so that people can't hear it. Yeah, much like that.
Yeah.
Why'd you just come?
Who comes like that?
All right, it seems like we've all gotten our takeaway. Doom is a
Oh, wait, we
satanic
didn't
game.
talk
Video
about-
games are violent.
we didn't talk about Animal Crossing.
Oh yeah, what about Animal Crossing?
So Doom Eternal and Animal Crossing New Horizons, I think was the one that came out.
Same
Came out
day.
on the same day. And so it's like the one time that I was totally for the internet running wild with something because the crossovers with the two were fucking
Isabel and
perfect.
Doom Guy.
I love it. There's even
Yeah.
a song. I'll show you guys the song if you want to listen to it. But it's amazing. That was one of my favorite little things that was going on with the internet. I was like, finally, something positive.
It was
Like your
Barbenheimer
attitude.
before Barbenheimer.
Right. And it actually made sense and it was kind of fun.
Did they ever officially acknowledge it in either game?
Not that I know of, but they should have. That would have
Yeah.
been super fun if they
Doom
did.
Guy on the island.
Yeah.
Doom guy
Doom Guy on
balloon.
the island.
Doom Guy was on my Animal Crossing island along with Chris Tucker.
What was your island called?
We should get into it.
Well, I think that just about does it. Thank you, listeners, for tuning in to another episode of the Learner's Permit podcast. Thank you to my co-hosts for another enjoyable recording session, despite it being hot as balls in here. Until next time, y'all.
Bye.
Bye.
See ya.
You've been listening to Learner's Permit. Thanks for listening. We hope you learned something today. Until next time, goodbye.